What's good? This is your host CJ, and this is the John Dewey Podcast. Today is Ribbon Cutting Day, and in honor of this special day, we will be having multiple guests come to our school, and we will be interviewing them on their New Year's resolutions. And the episode is going to start now.
Welcome everybody to the Everything at Once podcast. I'm your host Gabriel, and I'm with my co-host
Mo,
and we are also with our guest
Helena.
And today's topic is going to be about New Year's resolution. And as always, we start off with the guest, of course.
Okay, so one of my main New Year's resolution is to take hold of the opportunities that are given to me. I feel like in the past, I've gotten these amazing opportunities that many people don't have the opportunity to have. And the fact that I've been wasting those opportunities, not really grasping it and using it to better not only myself, but the people around me. So yeah, my plan is to really take hold of the opportunities that are given to me and use them in the best of my ability. And through that, I feel like it really shows me how to mature more and not take things as a joke, which is really well, and I feel like it's been going pretty well, although we're only like 9 days into the new year.
how long did that last?
No, like it's still going okay. Like
That's still go.
no,
You're
like
doing good already.
for example, you remember how we interviewed the Youth Leadership Council?
Yeah.
That networking opportunity, I actually took the opportunity to network, get my name out there, which was really well. Because the old me would have just been like, okay, hi, bye. But now because of that,
She made that rhyme. Okay. That's it.
But because of that, the deputy chief of director of like student affairs reached out to me. The
Yo, she talking to big head.
yeah,
Yo.
but like
Nah, she's starting to scare me, bro. I'm about to back out.
I know, man.
no, but like yeah, like that opportunity was the perfect example of me taking these opportunities and using it to the best of my ability, because through that I could later on end up helping other people that I meet. You know, it could help a lot of people.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Gabe, this might be a world record of somebody that's still going on with their New Year's resolution.
Stop!
I never heard of somebody keep it going.
Jesus, man.
I'm sorry.
It's been 9 days and she's been on still.
9 days already, and she's already like...
Yo, not even...
She's already leaderboards, man.
Our principal said she gave up after 2 days. How is she still going?
I have no idea,
She is
man.
scaring me.
No, but I think I'm still going, and of course I hope to continue going with this New Year resolution.
Nah, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, of course, but I think I'm still going with this because I've been working on it already, if that makes sense. Like even before the New Year started, my goal was to take on these opportunities and use it to my best ability. And going into this New Year, I think I just had discipline straight up like
So
Helena.
it was just going through. Like
It's just going through, and
okay.
there is hard times because I tend to like have anxiety or feel like I'm annoying people. But there's this part of me, which is why I feel like it's still going, is because I really just force myself, and I think of the future. I don't think of now, because when I think of now, I'm like, oh, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to talk to them.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
Because I'm like, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to talk to them. But me thinking in the future, like I'm applying to colleges soon. Like these opportunities will be amazing for me to have. And hopefully when I'm on this podcast again, I could tell you guys that I've been keeping it up for like the rest of the year.
Hey, we're ready for that.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
Whatever you gotta...
We're hoping that would
Yeah.
happen, honestly.
make up new
'Cause-
content. I mean, new stuff.
No, because
Yeah.
there is a lot of students in the school that have that opportunity, that had that opportunity and will have it
Yeah.
more, and they just won't take it. They just back down. Like me in my freshman year, I came into the school and I had the opportunity to like keep going with my classes and choosing my classes, but I ended up choosing like the easy way to just skip half my classes and then go to the rest of them. So that messed me up for this year because I just have an extra class now. I have, instead of just 8 periods, I have 9. I'm still not going to the 9. I don't got time for that, but
Yeah.
this is kind of like,
Yeah.
I took it as a positive way that I have more classes now. I took it as a positive way to join a club, which is the podcast club. That's one main thing that like this keeps it going. But more people would literally have the same option as me, and would take my path, the path that I took, which is a mistake, honestly. I was not trying to take that path at all.
And I could really relate to that because, like I said, I've been skipping out on the opportunities that have been given to me. And now as a junior, I'm trying to build my resume. And now I feel like I'm looking extra, like, doing the extra step in order for people to get to know me. Since the beginning I put myself out there. So I feel like we're on the same boat, as in we're learning the consequences of not doing the things we know we should have done.
But here's the thing. Honestly, some people, they take the wrong options without even knowing it sometimes.
Yeah.
There is some people that be doing that. Like, they get two options without even knowing which option to pick, and they just pick the wrong one by accident. They just never think it through. They just got time, and they just pick it. That's it.
That's just the faith of life. But I have a strong belief that everything happens for a reason. Maybe you took that wrong option for a later lesson to be taught to you. And, of course, things are not handed to you. So you have to work for it. And maybe by making that wrong decision teaches you a lot.
What about you, sir? You're sitting over here like a quiet
I'm
kid
just
in the
letting you
class.
guys go, you know. Whatever you guys need to say, let it out.
No,
like
what's
that.
your... Okay, let me just ask her one more question.
Yeah.
So if you had, like... I've heard about this dude that said, like, oh, if you had a dream... Like, wait, what he said? I forgot about that. Damn. I was just thinking about it, too. Oh, he said, how big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail? I think you guys have heard that before.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Dude, I'm gonna get
That's
that
kind of like
tattooed
a
on me or
question.
something.
Yeah, that was fire. That was fire.
Yeah.
But that is kind of a question that I was trying to ask you because of the things you were just saying.
Okay. Damn, that's a really good question because now I'm really thinking about it.
You gotta take your time.
Okay, so I feel like there's steps to this because I also saw that quote and that like had me reflecting for like 3 days. Because I tend to limit my dreams, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
For example, I want to do this, but let me not push it too much because that's impossible. Or if I say that it's impossible, I'm like, oh, that's like pushing the limits.
But here's the thing: if you knew you couldn't fail,
Yeah.
you would push way off the limits. That's what it is.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like, okay, I'm a law kid. Like, everything law.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm in that too.
my main goal, I think, would be, like, to be a Supreme Court judge or even go as... I wouldn't ever want to be...
I would not want to face her.
No, seriously.
I wouldn't ever want to be probably president, but, yeah, Supreme Court judge, because in law, you know that the Supreme Court always has the final say. Like, the...
Like the top of the top.
Yeah, because even the president could veto certain things, but
Yeah.
the Supreme Court judges are the one that says the final say if it's constitutional and if it's not constitutional. In America, we don't play about that.
So if I ever face you, how much child support do I have to pay?
Oh my God, no, don't think of that. Don't think of that.
Oh my God.
That's
no.
what's scary me,
But oh yeah, I like the fact that you talked about that because before becoming a Supreme Court judge, there's steps you take. You have to become a judge. And when I go to law school, I was thinking of studying family court. A lot of people say criminal justice court. I'm not gonna deal with like a Jeffrey Dahmer talking about I killed him, I ate his body.
Oh my
honestly
God.
just trying to either do a SWAT team or FBI. That's the
You should
two
watch
things
the
I
show
want.
on Netflix called SWAT.
I watched
so
it.
good. So I love it.
I'm still watching it.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on the new season to come
Oh
out.
really? I'm on the second to last season. It's
I already
really good.
finished everything.
Really?
I just started last month.
I mean, when you guys talk about that, I don't find that interesting. Like, how do I say this? Like, you know how there's like a show about like SWAT and
Yeah,
Netflix.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I'd never watched it because I don't feel like there's
Yeah.
a point in watching
Yeah.
it. It's not going to be all
Bro,
fairy tale.
there's
you know?
two of them. There's one called SWAT, and there's one called I think the Rookie or Rookie. These two. The Rookie is based off like regular street cops. Those are the regular street cops. But
Rookie.
SWAT is mostly off like just the SWAT team.
Yeah.
And they literally teach you what you're meant to do when you go in.
And another thing that I like about SWAT compared to like all the other like law shows or like criminal shows,
Yeah.
SWAT, I feel like it has a good balance between like the cop life and like social life. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
like I feel
they
like
show you everything.
Yeah, I feel like most shows, like I really agree with what you say. I feel like most shows they show the I feel like most I feel like most shows they show you the social life, like all the drama or like this. I feel like that's why I really like SWAT, and that's why I kept watching like almost all 8 seasons because there's an even balance between it.
I mean, I understand what you're saying,
We're
but
coming to an end.
No, not yet.
Oh,
I was just checking the time.
okay.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. You know, when it comes to things like that, like both behind like the job, but then also behind like their own self. You know, like their normal lives. You know, like from superhero and then identity.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
that's like really helpful. But I like to watch the actual videos because during my free time, whenever like I'm bored or something, well not bored, like when
You have like time to
watching true
time to burn.
stories.
There's this. Wait, you want to say anything?
No. I was gonna say a show that reminds me of that is Criminal Minds. I feel
Criminal Minds?
that's
What's
why I
that?
could have. It shows you like the real, like true stories. And they act it out and show you everything. And I couldn't even finish watching the whole series because it kind of scared me a little. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you'll like it more because I like the balance. That had more of like what was really going on. So I feel like you might like that.
I mean, when it comes, I understand. I'll take that into account. But like, what I'm trying to say is that like, there's this YouTube channel that's called like Police Activity. I think something close to that, where it shows the body cams and it breaks it down into details of like what they did wrong, what they did right. Because just a warning, just in case, because I don't know if you. Well, there was this one body cam where a guy with a suspect had a shotgun per se, right? And they were trying to gas him out, things like that. And his teammate, he got too close where the hallway's at because it was in the backyard. He got shot in the neck.
I saw
gas
that.
mask and everything, and he was dragging him down. And it's like, I love to like. I think he was okay. But
He was saved. He was saved. I saw the rest of that.
Because and it's like I'd rather watch something where it's not censored, where it's not like some
I
show.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, because it actually tells you like what not to do. Because there's a lot
like
of
training, free training.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Literally,
basically what it is.
If you don't mind me asking, what do you want to do in the future?
It's basically what he said, honestly.
I like that. So,
We partners.
Yeah,
not just
exactly,
that.
bro.
I feel like we all are into like law, criminal, like what's going on.
Even the engineer behind the computer is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're all within the same thing.
Hopefully, we're all on the same team. That's why I'm because I'll get to punch them in the future without any consequences from any teachers.
But I really like the fact that you said that because most people kind of shy away from seeing what's really going on. Like they want the fairy tale version of certain things, and I like how you like the raw things and see how things really go on.
Yeah, of course, and I completely understand that. Everybody has their preferences on how they see things, but it's their their choice. Their choice. But that's enough for the podcast. Any final words, anybody?
Have a good day.
Shout out to Roddy.
I hope you guys have a good day and always look at the positive and bright side of things.
All right, thank you for that. Okay, this is the Everything at Once
Thank you for coming
podcast
in
signing
today.
out. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to the Everything at Once podcast. I'm your host Gabriel, and I got my guests. You guys mind saying your names?
So I'm Mrs. Gattuso, and they call me Mrs. G. And you, sir?
I am Mrs. Gattuso's son. They call me Mr. G. No, they don't. My name is Vincent.
All right, and today's topic is going to be about New Year's resolution. Anybody have anything to say about it? Like, how's your year been going?
Well, so I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. Being as old as I am, I think people make a bunch of promises and then they don't do something, and your biggest New Year's resolution is getting fit or dieting or something like that, and I think it's a crock. I think if you want to change something, you don't need a day to change it. New Year's so far, I could sit here and cry about the things that go on, but we have to all look and see the bigger picture, and we have to look and say we have food in our stomachs, we have a roof over our head. There are people that are much less fortunate than we are, and we have to be appreciative. And unfortunately, a lot of people aren't appreciative of the things that they have. So my New Year's resolution, and I did make a small one, was not going out of my face anymore. Not getting so upset, so crazy, so much. I got in a car accident. It's okay. It's all right. Everybody's okay. That's what my New Year's, that I'm just going to try to breathe and try to be like a little calmer. That's what I'm going to try to do.
As honestly, your words are very impactful, and honestly, it does make me think about myself too. I may not have all the best things I would want to have, but I try to work for it. Anything you would want to say?
I'm very much in the same category. I don't necessarily believe in hardcore New Year's resolutions, but all the things that she listed about getting fit and being active and stuff like that, I think that those are great long-term goals for people to have. And part of the problem with resolutions is that people view them as things that they have to do quickly, and therefore they get tired 2 or 3 weeks in. I think looking at a resolution is, this is what I would like to accomplish, not only for this year, but in the overall future, is a good way of seeing it. And that way your goals can be more realistic. You can take things as they go. You can accept failure as it comes as well. And rather than just giving up a New Year's resolution 2 or 3 weeks into it, you can work toward things and take smaller steps here and there to build toward what you want for yourself in the long term. Like my New Year's resolution is definitely to be more proactive in my own life and to be more grateful, like she said, about the things that I have that I already have in my life that I don't really appreciate enough. I think that it's really, really important for people to not just view resolutions in the fad sense of like just something that you want to work for really quickly, or even in the superficial sense of like being fit just because you want people to view you in a more positive light. You should aspire for those things for self-improvement. That, I think, is where the whole idea of a resolution started. And it's kind of been warped and changed with social media and influencer culture and things like that to be resolutions that are more for people's perception of you, which, granted, is important. I mean, our whole lives are founded on the social perception of us, but it's not key to our own foundation of our happiness. Really, at the end of the day, your vision of yourself is what's important.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Forget about a resolution. What are you going to do in 2024 for you? Not a resolution. What is there something you want to do to make your life better or to make somebody else's life better? So not a resolution. What is one thing you're going to say that maybe, you want to do for you at some point to make you a better person and to make your whole outlook better? What are you going to do?
That's actually a really good question, and also I'd like to say both of you guys think alike. You guys both have that like sensible, mind. And like as the question you asked me, I would like to say that I'm trying my best to be the best person I can be. Like I may be young, but we all make regrets in our lives, and we do look back at it sometimes. But at the same time, we're kind of grateful for that regret because we get to learn and understand new perspectives when it comes to something like that, And to answer your question, I would say that I'm just trying my best to be like a better person when it comes to like everybody around me. Try to help when it's needed. Try to understand when it's needed, and honestly, it's just like support anyone I can and myself as well. And like you said, where people aren't as lucky to have other things. I've actually experienced that myself before. When I was younger, back then we didn't really have anything like that. We didn't have like a phone. Like any good quality things. Like before I was actually even born, we had this one like I'm not sure how to say, like it's like a stretcher bed or something. Like for camping. That's the only thing we had, and it was tough back then. Because things were tight, things like that. And then once we actually got out of that, area, because where we used to sleep, it was a basement, So it was, pretty bad, quality horrible. After we made it to where we could live in an actual house, things were still pretty tough. We didn't have that much furniture, We would used to sleep in, a better bed now, but... And it's I remember when I was younger, I would always, play with my toy cars and, And it's I never understood anything, because since from my young age, I just thought, this is how, life is, And
you know that as bad as you have it, there's always somebody out there that has it worse. And I feel for you and I understand what you're saying because I know what it's like to sleep on a floor because you don't have furniture. I know what it's like to have an eviction notice on my door. I know what it's like not to have money to feed your children. I know what it's like to have to cut the bottoms of your kids' pajamas so that they can, get a couple more months. So I know, but you know what? In retrospect, I still had healthy children and I still had the ability to work. I had 2 good legs and 2 good eyes and it's funny because my sister and brother always say that I look at the world through rose-colored glasses. You know what? I like to look at the world through rose-colored glasses because I like to see everything as what it could be and the nicety. So I try to pull out what I ever I can. And sometimes it's not about helping somebody, and it's not about, that old, the old saying everybody says, well, if there's anything I can do for you, which is the biggest baloney thing that anybody ever says, because they really don't mean it. Sometimes just sitting there and listening to somebody and just not even giving your opinion, just being a sounding board. Now, Vincent is my son. He's a Dewey graduate. Vincent and I can have a conversation, and sometimes and he's my child, but sometimes he'll just be my sounding board, and he'll let me talk and vent, and I always feel better afterwards, because it's not, you should do this and you should be doing that. It should be, he's more of, I understand, and it's not a judgy zone, and that's what it is, and we're so judgy these days too. Everybody judges everybody. Everybody's looking at everybody and what they're doing and judging them, and we have to stop that too. You're all unique. No two fingerprints are the same. No two snowflakes are the same. What's wrong with being unique? Why can't we embrace that? Why can't we be the person that we are and just say, this is who I am,
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with myself, and honestly, 100% agree, because, how do I say this? This generation is all about like following what's the new trend, what's the new clothing brand, And something that really stood out was when I remember it was, I think like pajama day, right? In this school. And everybody had the same pajama pants, and like it's like why does everybody always have to follow a certain trend in order to fit in, Why can't you be unique with what you have, And it's like with my end too, I remember I also like tried my best to fit in, but after a while, once I started growing up more, it's like, what's the point of trying to fit in, Like, I'm not, like, you just see me right here with just a sweater and some jeans, I'm not trying to be fancy. I'm not trying to like look like I have the money, for anything. Like, because I'd rather dress how I'm comfortable instead of having to dress, in a way where I feel uncomfortable,
Yeah. I want to say that I really appreciate you sharing with us everything that you talked about with your life experiences, and I feel like listening to you speak that you have a very wise outlook. And I think to go to what both of you were saying back in terms of resolutions, a lot of people have this misconception that your trauma and the hardships that you face are what make you into the person that you are, but I think that it's really your outlook on those things. It's how you choose to process what has happened in your life and the lessons that you take from that ultimately are what make you into the adult that you're going to become. I think your experiences have shaped you into somebody that isn't necessarily pessimistic or with a cynical, poor outlook on life, but you're somebody that, because you faced hardship, you know how to appreciate when things are going right. You know how to appreciate individual moments of happiness and goodwill. And I think that everybody has hardships to varying degrees that forge them into somebody with an outlook on the world, and you can take the things that have happened to you and you can become cynical and you can become bitter, or you can process what's happened, you can understand it, and you can accept it and cope with what's happened to you to become a stronger person and a more resolute person. And I think I'm hearing that from you, that these things you've experienced, that doesn't make them good or it doesn't make them right, but you've taken those lessons and you've used them to your advantage, and you've turned difficult situations into learning moments and into events that will forge how you interact with everyone you meet in your life. And I think that's super important, and that's super great that you're able to do that, because not everybody can take those lessons and forge a positive outlook from them.
Yeah, that's beautifully said, honestly. And like I just agree with it all, because there could be one event that happens in someone's life, and then next thing you know, they don't take it like in like a good perspective, they change how they are and all that stuff. Well, that's all the time we have right now. So thank you guys
so much for having us. This is so exciting.
Yeah, really wise words were said, and a lot of things were said as well. All right, well, thank you all for coming. This is the Everything at Once podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed. All right,
thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the John Dewey Podcast. I have been your host, CJ. You can check us out on YouTube, Apple Music, and Spotify, among other things. Have a wonderful day.